Yo, 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 welcome to the next lesson, guys. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the action lines of our tank character. Just going to point out again that this is going to be a knight. So we're going to be working on this same structure, all right? Just like I said before, all right? The knight structure has a kind of stable shape, and the action line is going to be pretty rigid. That's reflected on the little, on the little mobility that we might have in our knight. Which we want. This is something what we want right now, like a perfect balance. I'm gonna be using our dummy that we have on the left, and I'm going to apply it on the line we have drawn here. It will be the same posture as the one we have right now on the character we designed before. And the only thing we would do this for is to represent it with the same shapes I showed you in other lessons, so that you can interpret this in the best way through these circles, or the different articulations, or the different colored areas I had before. So right now I'm drawing inspiration from a square, a lot of stability, and there isn't any space really for dynamism or mobility. So it's gonna be pretty static. I decided to create the weapon as a sort of support for the character to give this image, that stability to the tank. All right. I'm going to be drawing a few more postures so that I can amplify the number of examples I want to give you on supports or balance that the character has. However, this second one, the sword is going to be on one of the shoulders of her character instead of being on the floor. However, I've decided to draw my girl with her legs a little bit more separate so that I can give her that, that balance, all right? This time we want to get it from the square. Remember that? The little square there in small next to that head we drew. As you can see, there are the dummy shapes that I made and the explanation of the action lines for the support character. And yeah, as I was saying, articulations, the circles, those curved shapes, they're gonna be more for the legs and the arms and stuff. And yeah, if you look closely, the structure's a little harder, a little stronger than in the case of a support character or of a defense character, seeing as we have to have a much more developed physique so that she can carry this kind of armor and weapon, that are quite heavy. They're pretty heavy, guys, You can't just carry that stuff around. All right, let's make them smaller so that we can fit a third illustration in. Just like a quick sketch that I'm going to put in a different pose. Alright, yeah, pretty similar, but this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that the sword is going to be resting on the floor, and it's going to have more, even more stability. As you can see, what I'm going to do is erase the extremities that, in this case, the arms, that I just don't need. So I can change the position to make it look like she was, like she's more holding here that weapon, okay? The positions in the legs, to me, they look a little unstable. So what I'm going to do is, to balance a little bit, rotating the figure, I'm going to just a little bit, and what we're going to do is achieve even more stability. So this would be the pose we would see in our reference character, if we could see her from the front. So this is just a question of adapting and trying to get a bit of perspective from what we're going to get, so that we can get like a pose that's optimal for our character. So here I'm going to put in the sword. And now I'm going to change the rotation. So this pose is going to be even more balanced, okay? Okay. So it's not super symmetrical, so I'm going to try and give it, even if it's not perfect, there's the sides. Okay, so this will be more or less 3 different structures of how we could use a square to base ourselves for a very stable pose that transmits safety and balance and stability. Yeah. I'm going to move on to different parts of the anatomy so that you can see that, as I've been saying for a while in the case of tanks, there's much more muscle to work with, okay? So we have to exaggerate a little more the parts of the strength that they might have, the muscles, you know? Even though it's a woman, all right? It doesn't mean that she can't have an athletic, strong body, all right? So for this reason, I want you to work quite hard on this. Just reminding you guys on the topic of races and stuff like that, it all depends on what you want to make. You could even design a tank that's based on a structure that's maybe, you know, coming from an example of medieval themes, a little more technological, that she might use an armor. We could use an example, the character from Overwatch, okay? I don't know if you've heard of her. She's called Diva. All right. All right, so Diva is a pretty common girl, no super strong powers or whatever like that. She's not weak, but she just has like a simple body structure that's supported, you know, by the metallic structure of a killbot, a big robot killer bot that she uses as a tank. So together they're a perfect tank, but it's not necessarily her who has to be strong, but that external agent that works as a weapon and armor at the same time. So to continue with our case, with a medieval theme and stuff, I'm going to represent the same structure we have here in this example that I've drawn before, and basically we're going to go over those mobility points, okay? You know, just like we were doing with the dummies before, but in maybe a more real kind of look. So I'm drawing this dummy on top of this drawing that I did before. Okay, so this would be the main structure, and that muscle that we have here as well. I've decided to exaggerate those muscles so that you can understand what I'm trying to explain. It's just sort of a reference so that you can understand what the body's like without the armor, and, you know, this is the result. So, I'll say this again, the action points and stuff. For example, this structure is based on the fact that the shoulders are a little bit bigger than the waist. In this way, it looks like the character is even stronger than what we might be able to see under the armor. In a sort of unconscious way, seeing as the top part is wider, it gives us the impression of being bigger, okay? And the back has to have the characteristics so that it may represent the character with a strong look, okay? So, you know. So, like, you know, big and strong is going to, like, this is kind of going to stereotypes, but you can do that if you want to use that as your base, okay? Maybe you want to look at weightlifters and stuff like that. So this will be the end of this lesson. The next thing we're going to be seeing is the same thing we did with the tank, but on another race. Yay! I hope you liked this, and that you're going to try and make your own tank with these action lines and stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Bye!